This week on Heart of Oak.
Try and pull this old nail out, I'll bring the whole house down.
That's how far we moved the floor.
Hey, I'm Lizzie.
And I'm PJ.
And we're Oak Development and Design.
Just hang 1,800 pounds in the air. Hope we don't break it.
We tear down and rebuild houses.
High fives for taking houses down.
From spec homes to custom renovations and design. Stop, you're bad at this.
We save what we can.
Rebuild what we can't.
I'm not exactly sure how we're going to pay for it yet.
It's not stressful. I'm not stressed.
Whoa!
We do it all here in New England, where we call home. We don't just flip houses.
We create homes. Heart of Oak is brought to you by
Timberland Pro. Always do, never done. Cam Appliance. Make your next appliance a Cam Appliance. Mid-Cape Home Centers, serving building professionals for 125 years. Mountain One Bank, where banking is in our nature.
This is a customer in town that approached us about redoing their kitchen. It's an old house. There's a lot of quirky stuff going on, and it's very complicated, but that's what we love. We love stuff like that. What we're doing is we're actually gutting the right half of the first floor from the door over, and then we're gutting the master is above that, and we're redoing the entire kitchen, and then we're redoing the master bathroom as well. So sounds straightforward, but the problem is they want one big wide open room there. So in order to do that, we'd have to have posts in the middle of the room to hold up the second floor, or of course, the more complicated and the more expensive and the more tricky thing is put a big steel beam in. Let's check in with the guys here. Frankie. Hey, PJ. Let's go, camera guy. This is a bachelor pad kitchen. When you leave the husband alone for 6 weeks while we do a renovation, this is where he lives. What we're looking at here is we've got our temp walls up. Guys put these up yesterday, and what these are doing is actually supporting the second floor so that we can put the steel beam straight down the center.
I want to tell you about how difficult it is to put a steel beam into a house, but I'm the editor. I don't know anything about this, but PJ does.
I guess I'll try to explain. So basically, because of the side location, we had to bring a crane in, lift the beam over the house, and slide it in on the side in a hole that Frankie cut in. Basically working it down that center section where the temp bracing is, across a bunch of pipes, working it in 1 inch at a time until it's in place. And we have a beam. Hey, what's up? Just crushing work. As always.
We have to go over the presentation for the white reno. When we met, we went through the space, sort of got an idea of what she was thinking of. I think that she has a pretty traditional style, so I didn't want to go like too crazy. I think we have these couple of options.
So on the lighting,
This is my #1 choice, and I think it'll work well with the rest of the kitchen style.
Totally. So would you go 18 on this or 24 inch on this?
It depends. She wants a really big island. It's going to be probably, what, like 10 feet?
Yeah,
So
close to 10.
maybe 24. I think once we got the space, if I could just stand in there and sort of have a thing on the floor to see where the island's going to be, we can figure it out. I can talk to Jim and see what he thinks.
So I was able to add the plumbing to this. Remember the faucet that they wanted? They wanted that kind of accordion. I don't even know, what do they call
It's
this?
like, kind of like a restaurant style.
Yeah,
Like one of these.
whatever. Yeah, one of these. One of these. And I saw it and it feels hardy. It doesn't feel cheap.
Yeah.
It's definitely not cheap.
Yeah.
I think it works perfect.
We've used it before.
I think it's a timeless piece. It looks great.
So tile-wise, I think she's pretty traditional. I want to talk to her about her tile budget because I know she wants some marble, like how much we can do of that.
So, you know, the goal is to try to get all this stuff ordered pretty quickly because
Yeah, that's fine.
we're moving fast, they're moving out, they're moving back in with the baby, and we want to make sure it's totally done because we just need it like immediately.
It should be pretty quick.
All right?
Paige, I'm crushing it,
Crushing it.
like you would say.
Good job. That hand slap is for Renee. Let's do that again
Why?
because she hates it. Now sit down.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, an expensive problem comes up at the house.
So, I mean, I have to break the good news to you, Jim, right?
What's that?
About the smokes?
Yeah, sure.
Because we're standing in a bedroom, right? We touched the bedroom. So now we've been told by the inspector we have to bring the whole house up to current code, right?
Yes.
So what does that mean for you?
Means you get to hardwire the whole house. So,
Yeah, and
cutting.
as you're finding now,
Snaking.
that's going to be a lot of fun, huh? Try and pull this old nail out, I'll bring the whole house down. So it might not look like much now, just a big open space, but over the next week, we have a lot happening. So I've got electrical, I've got plumbing inspections, then we have our building inspections. This is a really stressful time for us. Hopefully we hit our schedule and our deadlines, because the end of this deadline's really tight. We've got the homeowner and the new baby coming back home, so we really need to hit this and make sure we don't have any delays along the way.
My plan, which is a little crazy, is to tear the house down to the slab and then build a new foundation from the current foundation over to the barn, make it a cathedral kitchen.
The centerpiece of Squirrel Hill is an old gambrel barn, and our goal is to turn it into an awesome kitchen. Hi.
Welcome to Lywood Kitchen.
Nice to meet you.
What can we show you today?
Kitchens.
Yeah.
Kitchen.
Yeah.
Cabinets. There's a moss screen. This is a varnish on it, but there. How's this?
The floor is going to be like a
White
lighter oak. Yeah.
Okay. And the walls, the walls are going to be really high.
Yeah.
And the perimeter is probably white. or
Yeah,
it could
so
be a color.
they want us to price it as white, but I'd like to give them an option of a color that we pick.
And the interior of the windows in there are possibly going to be black.
You might have a lot of different elements going on to add two different colors.
Right.
So if we want to push them towards a color
We do
versus a
all.
white,
So then you just go all a
I would
color.
just do all a color.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Right. This is like a little bit too blue
I don't hate that.
for the whole kitchen though.
That's a stone. That's nice. So that's a repose gray.
I like that. Because I think I want to stay away from like too cold gray. You know what I mean?
We're gonna do a white banquette in this corner that we're gonna custom build. There's an old potbelly stove
Nice.
that we're putting there.
Right.
Here we are at Squirrel Hill, and as you can see behind me here, there's no more house. We've exposed our garage floor, and with it a few problems. As this wasn't a garage previously, the floor pitches down into the center. So if you can imagine a snowy covered car coming in middle of a New England winter, snow melts off it and it's all gonna pool in the middle. So for code, we actually have to have a pitch that starts at the back of the garage, pitching down towards the front. So unfortunately, that doesn't do that. So we're gonna pour a small little wall that kind of borders the existing foundation there. And that'll allow us then to pour a slab up to that wall and give us the pitch we need to keep everybody happy and the water out of the garage.
The problems with the foundation don't end there.
Welcome to the head-scratching mess. You can see here where the ground is kind of washing away underneath the foundation. What we're gonna do is pour a new 4-foot wall, the length of this existing wall, which will keep everything underneath here and give us a nice solid wall to build around. Out of all of the framers we've approached here to look at this, I think 3 of them suggested we knock it down and start fresh.
We want to keep as much of the home's character as possible. So we're going to work with what we have. So I was at the ER till 2 o'clock last night. What's cool about this house is it's an old house. It was built in the early 1900s and it has some cool old character. The guys are mostly done with the inside. So we've got to the studs, the entire house. There's a bunch of things happening here which need to be addressed right out of the gate. First off, the entire floor of the first floor in the middle is a big gully. It's really tough to see on camera, but if I go down low, you can see that area there kind of disappears, right? All of this area over in here in the middle of the house has sunk about 2.5 inches. And then as we go over into where our pantry is,
it's actually 3 inches higher there than it is over in the middle of the house. All of the second floor is sitting on this bearing wall. The problem is that bearing wall is not sitting on the beam that's in the basement. The beam is somewhere where I am, under here. And so all that weight has nothing under it transferring to the foundation. So really right now the goal is to fix the structural problems that exist in this early 1900s antique so that we get everything nice and level, really strong, because it is such a blend of old and new, and it's gonna be tough to kind of get what we want out of it. But I think with enough hard work and a lot of, brain teasers, we should be able to figure it out. So if you remember, the original plan was to keep the roof of the second floor of the garage. But after investigating, we realized it was framed as a truss system, which is not able to be modified. As a result, we have to make the expensive decision of ripping it off. Once we rip it off, we'll reframe the roof with a dormer in it and create a big open space with a much higher ceiling. What the guys are doing today is they're setting the ridge of the roof, which is the most important part of the job. Literally in 2 hours, we'll have a complete roof system up and done probably. I mean, once you kind of get it set and where you want it to be, it all falls in place really quickly. Filming might get a little interesting for 6 weeks.
What's going on?
So I was at the ER till 2 o'clock last night. I shattered my foot. I was holding on for hope that it wasn't broken, but
There was no way. That thing was just too twisted and swollen for good.
Wow, that thing looked gnarly.
Yeah.
I guess we'll just bake it into the storyline of the show, no?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, we have to keep filming.
We're going to have to, because you're going to be hopping around and people are going to wonder why.
On vacation, I pulled a PJ dumbass move and I shattered my foot. I was walking around a pool and it was kind of dark and it was an infinity pool, and I thought where the water dropped off next to the pool was down like an inch or two. I was joking that you're probably just gonna strap me with duct tape to my office chair and make me leave everybody alone.
We could do that.
Yep.
That can be arranged.
Uh-oh, lost my mic. This is the new normal. Frankie! Let's approve some walls, bro. Good thing the stairs are level now. After completely changing the layout of the second floor, we realized one bedroom is just too small. I'm just nervous you're gonna walk right into a bed and then hit your head going that way. Can we make that hallway smaller?
We already at a 30, it's gonna be 37 inches finished.
And we need by code 36, right?
36, yes.
Basically, the problem we're having right now is that we eliminated the dormer that we were gonna put in this wall. A, to save money, but B, more importantly, we just didn't think we needed it. And by getting into that wall, we were gonna have to do a lot more with the roof. And we were trying to avoid the extra time, energy, money, labor. What we're basically trying to figure out is where's the bed gonna be, right?
I mean, we definitely could get a pocket door in there. So we can make the pocket door slide behind the bed.
My other thought is, like, what if we had this doorway come from here? We go with a smaller door, and then your bed goes on this wall. The chase is there. I think you put a pocket door over here as small as you can, as tight as possible. Okay. And then we keep the double window. We don't spend the money on the skylight. Okay. Pocket door there, shift the closet over.
Yes.
The guys have been here for the last week working on just getting this house straightened out. So what they did is they came in with a bunch of the manufactured lumber that we had spec'd out and re-supported the whole second floor first by bringing these beams in. You'll see that this post over here goes all the way down to the basement. It's not supported on the first floor flooring at all. Then what they did was they went into the basement, they jacked the floor up, put temporary walls in, and put a bunch of beams in. And just to give you an idea of how massive of a change that was, if we take a look at this door, okay? This is the original door.
look at how it lines up. That's how far we moved the floor. And so now we have a really strong first floor so that when we bring in modern technologies and modern kitchens, like really heavy granite or really heavy cabinets and refrigerators, now the floor can actually support that. And that's the goal, try to turn an old antique house into something modern for today's buyer.
That's a little easier on the back, huh?
This can be your path, right?
Yeah.
They just don't know it yet.
One by one, they go together like locks.
Okay, so we're here today at the Milford High School out in Milford, Massachusetts with our partners Timberland Pro. Gen T is committed to promoting the fact that we need to bring shop class back to high school. So today we've got a couple hundred kids here and we're working with them to build dog houses. It's not a competition, we're all about safety today. And at the end of the day, the goal is to have a series of dog houses that are gonna be donated to a bunch of ASPCAs in the local area.
If you can build a dog house, you can pretty much build anything.
What do you think you're thinking about doing after high school?
I'm gonna like build houses, do construction, probably become an engineer, something like that.
I want to be an engineer when I grow up or when I'm in college and studying. And I've always liked to build stuff with my hands, like Legos and all that. And I saw this at the school and I was just like, okay, this looks fun.
Timberland is a company we believe with a heart, so Gen T is just an extension of that. When I go home tonight and I turn my faucet, water is gonna come out, and when I hit my lights, the lights are gonna go on, and it's because of the American worker. So there's gonna be a skills gap of about 3 million people if we don't fix this. This can be your path, right? Yeah. They just don't know it yet because they haven't been exposed to it. And it's amazing how much dignity and value is in this work to just keep the rest of us going from point A to point B.
I couldn't agree more. And this is
Over the last couple of weeks, we've got pounded with rain, which slowed us down, but we're hoping to catch up in the next 5-6 days. We're supposed to get some good weather. This is a really funky job. Everything about this job has been tricky and weird up to this point, but we finally have a nice level deck and everything's starting to fall into place. That's a little easier on the back, huh?
Oh yeah.
So obviously these guys are standing walls up, which is exciting because it's meaning we're getting closer and closer to defining the space of the house and getting the second floor deck on. So where I'm standing now is actually gonna be the pantry. So the wall is gonna be right about where he is with a window leading into a pantry. There'll be a barn door here, and then on the left here, we'll have a big cased opening into the kitchen. Then as I walk this way, we walk into what will be the hall. This will be the hallway out to the front door. And then there'll be a wall right around here, triple windows over in here. And then the walkway down to our dining room, which is where this yellow roll is. And then a bedroom on the other side of that. What's kind of cool is we have a farmer's porch on this design, but the porch is actually not wood. We're gonna do either a bluestone or most likely some sort of darker paver that looks like a bluestone, which will lead out to the steps over on the left down to your driveway, and then out to a walkway here, which I think is gonna be brick, leading out to the driveway as well.
Finally, I'm the height I really wanted to be from birth. Finally, I'm the height I really wanted to be from birth. Right now I'm probably about 13 feet tall. These are going to be footings for the farmer's porch. So these actually get dug down into the ground 5 feet and do the job of bearing the load from above.
You might be wondering what the heck these things are. Let's do a quick flashback back to season 1 on our Hersey Street project. It's a system of precast concrete 4-foot by 18-inch block.
One by one, they go together like locks.
Really nice precast. There's a lot of cheap precast.
in my opinion, cheap looking precast concrete walls, but these are really tasteful, they're really nice, and they're really strong. So parking a car or a boat on them will be really good. We've got 3 levels, right? Because the grade drops off. So on the bottom, we use a larger 4-foot wide block. So it's 4 foot by 4 foot, and we stack them. And then we follow that by stacking the second one on top of it into the second row you see. And then the cap goes on top and goes all the way through, but it's actually a pretty interesting cap. It's got a lip to it. So pea stone or asphalt go right up to the edge and you only see the last couple inches of it. So the top of it from our property, you'll only see one little concrete edge. And then from the other side, you'll see a nice decorative, what they call a limestone finish on the front. These precast concrete blocks are great because they come with the top layer where you bring the asphalt right to the top edge, right? So it scoops down, it comes right up to the top edge. So it'll be asphalt all the way to the edge of the garage and then stone behind that. So as we go deeper, the blocks get wider and stronger. And what's cool about these is they have indents on the bottom. So the bottom block has a little bubble that the top block sits over and it locks in place. So you don't actually have to tie them together with anything back into the earth behind it. They stand on top of each other and kind of hold each other in place like a Lego.
One by one, they go together like Lego blocks.
So Jared's over there working with Ernie, trying to set each block and make sure they're nice and level and they're right on our line. So right now they're working on trying to straighten everything out. They go together quick, but it's definitely an art form trying to make all this work.
Yeah, it's been one of those weeks.
Things never go the way you want it to, and you just have to roll with the punches. Are we concerned about how much water is coming out of it?
Yeah, I could pull a kayak out, white water style.